At the heart of Raymond Carver's short story, A Small Good Thing, is the notion of perspective. We live life in the first person. We have no idea about others' lives unless we actively seek that information. This restriction is the cause of the main conflict in the story. On one hand, we have the perspective of the baker. He is a man who has been working for years, mostly at night and in isolation. He moves on autopilot. When he asks, "Have you forgotten about Scotty?" he isn't being malicious because he doesn't know what has happened to Scotty. The baker is simply asking if Howard and Anne are going to come get their cake. On the other hand, we have the perspective of Howard and Anne. They are a couple who have had a tragic thing happen to their child. When the baker calls and asks, "Have you forgotten about Scotty?" the couple interprets that as the baker insulting and attacking them. Neither Howard and Anne nor the baker are aware of each other's situation, and it allows them to forgo empathy and understanding and embrace their frustration with one another. Carver never shows readers the baker's perspective until the end of the story. The effect is that the baker becomes the villain simply because we do not get his version of the situation. His villain status is further solidified through Carver's use of the third-person narrative voice. The baker is nameless, and readers get none of his inner thoughts, making him a little easier to blame and accuse. Perhaps if we were told this story from the baker's point of view, we would get a story of a tired man with a mundane and repetitive life who's become so numb that he makes a horrible mistake and ultimately tries to make up for it. The conflict of the story is only resolved once Howard, Anne, and the baker finally come together and learn what the other is going through, sharing their own perspectives and creating a new one together. Perspective makes a huge difference in how we see characters and interpret a story. The baker is an evil creep until we learn how overworked and lonely he is, and when he learns of what's happened to the couple, he is transformed into a nurturing and empathetic character that can help Howard and Anne through their hard time. Hopefully readers take this story and are reminded just how in our heads we all can get. Everyone is dealing with something, and remembering that there is another perspective through which a situation can be seen might just help us to be kinder and more understanding, just like Howard, Anne, and the baker.